Steve-O.
Yes.
So, Aussiana.
Yeah. Okay.
Australiana?
Australiana.
I don't know, mate. And this is the thing with regards to being a Kiwi. I sort of cross a couple. But like we call...
You go both ways, don't you?
Well, what? No, I'll stab you. An esky.
Esky, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chillibon.
Chillibon. You got to say it right.
And we call the corner store the dairy.
Dairy, that's right.
But
you got your jandals on today?
Thongs. Yes, and Americans say thongs, and
yeah, women's underwear.
And they're like, "You're wearing thongs on your feet."
I wear thongs.
Very strange. Yeah. But what do we call thongs, Steve-O?
They are, well, no, what
G-bangers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those songs.
Which is also G-string.
Yeah.
But they're a G-banger.
G-banger, yeah.
Why is it called the G-banger?
I don't want to even say on camera.
I don't even know.
I
don't know why we call them G-strings. But, I mean, even it says on there, it says G-string, right? But Americans say thong.
G?
Because, I mean, I guess your thong goes between your toes. Is that what the thong means? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean it. That'll be blurred out. That'll just be like, what is he doing with his hand? Okay, I've got one for you.
What's it?
It's kind of funny though.
Yeah.
As dry as a dead dingo's donger.
Donger, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What does that mean, Steve?
Well, when a dingo dies out west, which is where the dingoes hang out, it's very, very dry in Australia in the outback. So
why do we say it's as dry as a dead dingo's donger?
Because they're very, very dry after they've been lying in the sun there for many, many. But why do we say that?
Why do we have to say donger? Why don't you say it's dry?
It's Australia. It's
dry. I mean, what a long way to say it's dry.
It is. I know, but Australia,
it's really dry.
You get bored of saying that because in Australia it's very dry.
Everything's dry.
Everything's dry.
So on a scale, like one being like dry,
and
then it's like as dry as it can possibly get. It's as dry as a dead dingo's donger.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah. I know another.
So do you know what Tony's favourite saying is?
What is it?
Flat out like a lizard drinking. She gets that from her dad. Her dad is the most Aussie bloke you've ever met in your life. Like, seriously, he's even got the Aussie twang going. And, mate, every single word is just like, mate. Stroth. Well, he doesn't actually say that. Actually, he might say that.
Oh.
He might have actually.
Oh.
Well, maybe he doesn't. Anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and he said it. But, flat out like a lizard drinking.
Have you ever seen a lizard drink? Their tongue's going... Blah, blah, blah.
But also they're flat.
Yeah, they're flat and they're down the drinking.
Anyway.
I love that one.
I like those two. So,
jeez.
All right.
That's a good one. They're good ones. I love that dry as a dead dingo's donger. It's all D's, I guess. And,
it's funny. Alliteration.
It is quite funny.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Good one. All right, moving on to some more serious stuff.
Well, sort of serious.
Okay.
Now it's Christmas. Yeah. We've lightened the mood a bit for this particular podcast.
Mate, I feel like wearing a Christmas party hat and elf stuff. But you know what? We don't need to go overboard. Maybe there could be some, if you're on YouTube, there might be some reindeer and some stuff floating down. Yep. If you're not, then
it's just us.
Just us, unfortunately. If you're listening to us on Christmas Day and you're all alone, just know that Steve and I think you're a loser.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just kidding. If you're listening to us on a Christmas day,
I can see the emails
I'm
coming
just
in now.
Sending you all our love, Poppet. Channeling my inner Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
You for Janine Doubtfire, lovey.
Yeah, great with the voice, wasn't he? He did sound like a woman.
Well, Steve-O, I was going to say, just while it's, just mucking around.
Yeah.
Have you got any voice character acting that you can do? Do you can you do it?
I do, but I'll probably offend someone.
No, offend people.
Them?
Yeah, go on.
Because this is Christmas.
Okay. And at Christmas, we do like to offend people.
Well, I look and sound like Bob Down.
You do.
I sound like Bob Down as well.
If you Google,
like this.
okay, tell me,
Bob Down. Put a photo up.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want me to do something for you?
Yeah. If I had a blonde wig, and the terrible safari suit, I could do Bob Down. Same body shape, look like him.
You kind of do.
And I can put the voice on.
So for people who are listening,
look at that.
So for people on YouTube, Matt, flick that up. So all right. Now I'm gonna do something for you, Steve-O. I'm gonna do something for you. I've been practicing.
Oh, okay.
And you have to guess who it is. All right.
Jeez, okay.
All right. Now, I'm going to start with the easy ones. Oh, see, I did a Steve. I did a now. I'm going to start with the easy. You don't know that you do it, Steve-O, but you do nows all the time. Now. I'm going to start with the easy, and they're going to get progressively harder.
All right.
Okay? So I expect you to get the first one.
All right.
I doubt you'll get the second one, though. You might.
All right.
And the third one, you've got no chance.
Jeez.
All right? You ready?
Yep.
Get out! Get to the chopper! He's got a nuclear device.
Well, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It is.
Yes,
well done.
Absolutely.
All
Now,
right.
well, I think we talked about the movie. I don't think it was Commando, was it? It was.
That was Predator.
That's right.
Yeah,
Predator.
man. Yeah. Get to the
That's
chopper.
a great movie. Do you remember the gunfight in that where the Predator was running around, they all shot at him and just leveled the forest? I love that.
Had nothing. Yeah, that had Jesse Ventura in it, and it had Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed. It's not Apollo Creed.
No.
He's what's his name? Oh, he was in. Anyway,
yeah,
I forget. He's awesome.
He's an awesome.
Why can I not remember? I'm getting old. Anyway,
great guy.
Yeah, he was really cool. They had some good actors in that.
Oh
film.
yeah, and Painless the gun.
Yeah, that's also.
What's your next voice?
Okay, ready? You don't know the power of the dark side.
Oh yeah, that's is it Darth Vader or is it? Yeah, I'll say Darth Vader.
No, wrong. No. Embrace the power of the dark side.
Oh, is that the Darth Vader's boss or something? Was it? No,
Wow.
am I way off track?
Emperor Palpatine, mate.
Yes. I couldn't think of the
Oh
guy's
my
name.
gosh. Okay. All
It was
right.
1977 when I saw Star Wars. Remember? I
Yeah.
was only a kid.
No, you weren't.
No, I was old then too.
So, all right, you ready for this? Now, you
the
won't get
third
this
one.
last
Oh,
one.
here
Now,
we
if
go.
my son was on this, he would get this.
All right,
It's just
okay.
like,
What's that? Is that it?
That's it.
Oh my god. I don't know, the Grinch because it's Christmas. I'm just guessing.
no, it's from Yu-Gi-Oh. It's one of the bad guys.
Oh,
do you even know what Yu-Gi-Oh is?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, all right, that's the one.
No, so you're right. I had no idea about that.
Okay, and the last one, the high heels suit you, master.
Oh, I sort of know that one, but I can't think of
Igor.
it. Igor, yes.
Come on, man. But it's in my version of Dracula, so the Rocky Horror Picture Show. No, it's not from that, but yeah. Anyway, enough with the voices. As we're moving into Christmas, though, Steve, what we thought we'd do is we'd have a look back through the years, through the year, and we would talk about, I guess, some of our favourite moments, and some of the most extraordinary things. So,
Yeah.
Steve, of everything that we spoke about this year, what are the things that sort of really stuck out to you?
I had a lot, and it's funny because well, let's be honest. I saw your list and I sort of went, "Oh, they're really good."
Yeah,
that's the sort of
no copying.
Yeah, I know. So I had to think of something slightly different.
Okay,
but I guess what this year is all about is about I'm all about diet and exercise for weight loss. But what I found exciting this year is all the research has been come out even just this year on weight loss nutrients. Now you mentioned one, but I'm thinking of all the other ones.
Yeah, sure.
That literally work.
Yeah.
Big meta-analysis on L-carnitine.
Sure.
Acetyl L-carnitine for fat loss, 2 grams a day,
and look,
37 studies, bang.
Acetyl L-carnitine, and that is the optimal dose as well too.
Yeah.
Like 2 grams a day. And look, for anybody out there who is wanting to use or lose weight, acetyl L-carnitine absolutely should be in the mix.
Yeah.
Steve, naturally, is it sport specific? Do we store it in our body? Why do we need it? When does it run out? Is that a reason why some people reach a plateau? When should it be taken?
Yeah.
And how does it work?
Well, it works. I'll start off with how it works. It basically gets fat from the blood, puts it into the cells.
Yep.
So pretty simple.
Yeah.
When you should take it is before you exercise, because you liberate fats when you exercise, of course. Amino acids are absorbed in about 30 minutes. So you can just take it as a pre-workout, say. Just put it, if it's already, you should be in your pre-workout, but if it's not, put some in there, 2 grams. Acetyl L-carnitine.
Is it sport specific? Like, does it need to be taken? Just you should take it in the day, but you can take it just before you go to bed.
Of course,
it pulls, and then as your body needs it, it'll use it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's great for dopamine production in the brain too. So
that's the acetyl form, because there's lots of other forms of L-carnitine. There's elemental, there's tartrate, which also seems to have a good impact on freeing up bound testosterone, Steve.
Yeah, it does.
Which is interesting.
Well, acetyl L-carnitine is great for testosterone in men as well.
Really?
That's why I take it.
Acetyl is?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, it's a really good one. It's dopaminergic, which suppresses prolactin, so it's good for men.
It suppresses prolactin. Yeah. So therefore, if you've got a predisposition to gyno,
Yeah.
I was going to say gynostemma, but Freudian slip. I'm thinking about gynostemma. But if you've got to gyno macastia, how do you say
Metastia, yeah, the breasts, yeah.
Gynometastia, man boobs, as we like to call them, then you should take acetyl L-carnosine.
Absolutely, because it burns fat and helps your hormones.
Wow.
So it works in both ways.
Now, I know that we like acetyl because it does cross the blood-brain barrier.
Yep.
So it helps with neurotransmission, which makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it does.
It's vinegary in taste.
Yeah, it's not the greatest taste.
No.
So that's why you have it with something. It's usually in a formula.
The magic dose, the magic amount that you should be aiming for as far as the supplementation is 2 grams.
2 grams. The meta-analysis was very clear on that.
Steve, what you can't take anymore? Doesn't really do anything?
It's non-toxic. It's in food.
When people are first exercising, and this is just how would you say, a parallel that I might be drawing, which may be completely incorrect here. A lot of people start losing weight, but then they sort of hit the plateau. Could it be because they don't have any L-carnitine left in their body?
Yeah, it could, because then you're circulating your blood and it's going back into the fat cells.
Right.
And we're going to talk about one of yours lists later about things that mobilize fat.
Okay.
So this works very well with things that get fat from your stored fat areas, say around your gut or wherever, and it gets it back into the cells to be burnt. So you need the both angles there. But certainly if you run out of acetyl L-carnitine or you haven't got it in your body, then you won't burn fat effectively.
Okay. In your top 10 ingredients for fat loss. Now I appreciate we've got beta-3 antagonists, which decoupling proteins. We've got thermogenic agents. We've got detoxification pathways. I mean, there's so many things that are required with regards to optimal fat loss. Forgetting all of that, and just putting it in terms of, and again, this is the problem because you forget, because I say, what about this one? I forgot about that one. Yeah, but if you were going to list acetyl L-carnitine, okay, we'll say it this way: 10 is the perfect ingredient, and a must-have, because we know that it helps with L-carnitine palmitoyl transferase.
That's the enzyme,
yeah. And that is, if you don't have that, Steve, you can't burn fat, right?
Exactly, you can't.
If 10 is an essential and a must-have, so let's not rate them in terms of your absolute favourites, because but in terms of the importance, and one being it's a fad, it's a gimmick, it's not needed at all. Yeah. Where would you put acetyl L-carnitine?
9.
Wow.
The reason being is because it's essential for fat burning, and it's very, very important around exercise. Really important. That's when you're going to be burning more fat. There's only one nutrient I can think of higher than it, actually. There's only one thing.
One thing that you'd rate as a 10?
Yeah, because it works without exercise.
Hang on. Before we go there, so in terms of, I thought you were going to say 10 for acetyl L-carnitine, but I mean, obviously 9 is very, very important. But there's only one thing that you'd give a perfect 10 to, and everything else is 9 or below?
Yeah, because there's one thing that will burn fat in your body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether you exercise or not. And I give that a 10. Acetyl L-carnitine will help you burn fat when you're exercising, because you're mobilizing the fat when you're exercising. So it's very, very important for that. And it will help you burn fat even when you're not exercising, but not as much.
So if I want to be a lazy couch potato. And now, mind you need to be in a calorie deficit, so that would be true, right? This won't work if you're not in a calorie deficit, or will it?
This will help you put you in a calorie deficit.
Does it work in nutrient partitioning?
A little bit, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Does it work on blood sugar levels?
Yes. In fact, that's what it's mainly used for medicinally.
Can I have a guess?
Yeah.
No, it's not cinnamon.
No, it's not cinnamon.
It's more, I was going to say, because that's not very sexy. I mean, I like cinnamon, but that's.
I'll give you a clue. 4 letters: A, M, P, K.
Is it the herb I'm going to talk about?
It's the herb you're going to talk about.
Gynostemma.
Yeah.
I love gynostemma.
Well,
and when we did that, and you're doing a segue without actually even needing to, right? But I guess I asked the question, right? Yeah. So Gynostemma. Well, okay. So that was your first one, Steve. I'll go to my first one now.
Yeah, exactly. That was the fat loss nutrients like carnitine.
Well, the thing for me is that I was just blown away. And look, doing the podcast, and it's funny because when we do these, guys, I don't really spend a lot of time researching with Steve. I just go off memory. I go off what I've read recently, and Steve, you go and research, and you're a wealth of knowledge. You retain a lot of this info, and you're a research scientist. So this is the kind of stuff that you spend all day, every day looking at, right? Whereas I don't.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always get tripped up a little bit by not by gimmicks, but by what's popular, what's sort of in the news, and I don't get tripped up by what I mean is my focus, my attention sometimes can sway that way.
Yeah.
But I don't. Gynostemma is one that I'd heard of years and years and years ago. The other one that I used to get it mixed up with was silvestri leaf extract. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Which deaden the tongue to sweet foods.
Sweet foods.
So for people who had a real problem with, but was that called
Gymnema?
Yeah. Gymnema. And I always used to get Gynostemma and Gymnema mixed up just because I'm probably lazy and don't read properly.
Yeah. Well, they're both similar because Gynostemma is great for sugar balancing, amongst many other things that why it's a 10. But the Gymnema is very good for sugars as well.
Yeah.
It was found in rats to grow back the beta cells in the pancreas, which is incredible.
Wow.
So, I've given it to people with diabetes. It's helped dramatically.
Well, maybe we can do a podcast on that later on because I do like it. I like it because it deadens the tongue to sweet food. Yeah. So if you've got a real problem with sweet food, do you remember that nail bite thing that you used to paint your nails with? Yeah. Literally, it was a carcinogenic toxin, but you'd stop biting your nails if you don't die, which is great. But you stop.
It worked because when you died, you didn't bite your nails at all.
But all right. This is a big one, and maybe I should have put this one very last because Gynostemma just floored me. Now, I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't know everything about it. But, Steve, you're right. It is the perfect 10 out of 10 supplement, and I know that people were losing a fair amount of weight, even without exercise.
Without exercise, 1 kilogram of fat, not weight.
Over what period of time?
That was over, I think, 16 weeks without exercise.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
If you extrapolate that, you got to remember 16 weeks ago. It's a long time.
It is a long time.
But you got to remember that
no exercise and without changing diet.
No change in diet, whatever. Now, how does it's absolutely incredible.
How many calories in a kilo of fat, Steve?
1,000 grams, and gram is 9 calories. 9,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of calories. So 9,000. So if you think you go on the treadmill and you burn 100 calories, it's just,
do that 90 times.
And that's the benefit.
That's 3 months. Actually, it's like doing the treadmill every day at 100 calories.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's huge. And as we say, little by little, inch to inch. Tell me more about the highlights of, because I thought, Steve, you tell us why again, just the highlights.
Well, it's great for weight loss and fat loss and all this sort of guff. But the other thing is it's very, very good for your liver and kidneys.
Yeah.
Very good for your digestion, very good for your brain. It's called the longevity herb because people, it does increase lifespan. I mean, it's got it's sort of like the perfect thing. Yeah, but look, all right, it's great for fat loss and all that. So if you're into that, that's a great thing. But it's good to take even if you're not into that.
Yeah.
Because it's just good for your body. It just does everything for your body that works really well to improve your vitality and your organs and everything, even your lungs, help your heart. It's a cardiotonic. And it's sort of like, do you got to remember there's usually, as you say, the piper to pay. In this case, that's why it's a 10. There's no piper to pay.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
It's just good for you. Forget weight. It's good for you.
Yeah.
And it's been consumed for hundreds of years, so it's not like a new thing that's come. Yeah. The problem is it's expensive, and you need at least 3 grams.
Right.
And that's the piper to pay.
That's the piper to pay.
That's piper to pay.
That's right. And I think we even said that in the podcast as well too, Steve. So as far as fat burning is concerned, all the additional benefits that you're getting out of it, kidneys and liver and all the rest of it, is there anything else extraordinary? Because, I mean, again, all that's great with the health stuff, but most people are like, it burns fat without even exercising. Yeah. Is there anything else around the fat? Do we understand the mode of action with regards to the fat loss?
Yeah, it does. AMPK.
AMPK.
Adenosine monophosphate kinase.
And how does that burn fat, Steve?
It increases uncoupling proteins in your body.
It's fantastic.
So it's like, as I said, it's like driving along, putting your handbrake on in your car. Oh, that'll cause problems, but you'll burn more fuel.
Sure.
This won't cause problems.
Yeah, it doesn't wear out the brakes.
Doesn't wear out the brakes, yeah. It doesn't cause any adverse effects. In fact, it's good for you. The side effects are, it's good for you.
So guys, if you're interested in that, and if you're just coming into our Christmas giggles, and you're interested in that, and seriously, of all of the podcasts that we did this year, there are two that really blew my socks off.
Yeah. And
that was the first one. It was something that I was surprised with, because I thought I knew, and I knew a little bit about it, but it's a great compound. It's a great podcast. So just type in Gynostemma podcast. Do we know what number it is, Matt? And have a look at that podcast and do yourself a favor and listen to it, because as Steve said, it's not just about the fat loss. It's also about all the health and wellness benefits, specifically for the liver and for the kidneys.
Yep. Heart, brain.
Pretty incredible.
Oh, it is. It really is like freakishly good for you, as well as losing weight.
So, guys, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, man, this sounds really good, I've missed something, go and have a look at episode 327, which is called Breakthrough Fat Loss Ingredient. And look, it sounds hypey, but it's not. No. Seriously, we deliver on that one, Steve.
Lots
and
of
it's
literature,
exciting.
lots of studies.
Back to you, Steve-O. Ball back in your court.
All right. The other one that I didn't even write on this list here, but I probably should have, was the amazing wrinkles. So, I mean, as we've talked about in the podcast, I've got a father-in-law who is a doctor who mainly does cosmetic work.
That's right.
On the podcast, Dr. Doug.
That's right.
And he injects people's face, with a toxin, botulinum toxin, which is great. And, of course, it causes the muscles to relax, so you get rid of your wrinkles.
Hey, did you see that? And I think I mentioned it in one of the other podcasts, but again, we're sort of doing a recap. Did you see Katy Perry's eye?
I did.
And she looked like, and people are like, she's a robot, she's a, this and that and all the rest of it. And I think we mentioned, Steve, I thought it could have been Botox that had gone wrong, that had deadened the nerve where she couldn't open, and she kept doing this with her eye. If you haven't seen that, type Katy Perry eye. Did you think
it wouldn't be Botox, because Botox paralyzes the muscle for 3 months, and there's no reversing it. So it could be a filler, which is putting pressure on the nerve.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fillers are other things you can inject in your face.
Yep. And other areas.
Absolutely. Now, the thing about Botox, it works, but it's injection and it's expensive.
Yes.
What this year, and a little bit into last year, but this year is there's now ingredients that really work to reduce wrinkles.
Yep.
And it's not like a cream that works for 12 hours or something. This grows it from the inside out. And the research was out this year about all these ingredients. Three that I love, that I remember.
Yeah, tell me.
First one is hyaluronic acid.
Love hyaluronic acid.
That's in every cream at, can I say, Chemist Warehouse or at the pharmacy.
Sure.
Okay? It sucks water in, so you put it on your face.
Pumps you up.
Works.
Yep.
But orally, and you have to take about 120 milligrams of it, but orally, it actually grows the wrinkles out.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. And there's studies on all this.
Yep.
There's studies on all this. So we'll talk about the which number it is. I'm not sure which, but we talked about this. We'll get to the number. The other one, of course, is the type of collagen.
Yes.
Now, if you have collagen, it's good for your body. It's good for your joints, all this sort of stuff. Yep. But there's a special type that's very, very good for your skin.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is that I hear a lot of people talking about collagen, and there's so much misinformation here at the moment. It's hard to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yes.
And both the lay market and most of the people who are listening to this are more sports minded, and you guys are a little bit more in the know. But even with regards to that, there are peptides like growth hormone, like gluten, like whatever. There are certain peptides and certain things. They pass fully intact through the gut lining, and like a key into a lock, they have an effect. So growth hormone obviously is one.
Classic one.
Body Balance is a collagen peptide specifically designed that helps with body composition.
Yeah,
and
the name would suggest.
Yep. Now this one, Tenderfoot. Verisol, because Tenderfoot's another one. But Verisol has been shown to be extremely effective at improving the appearance of these things. And but you're right, Steve. There is some really smart engineering going on with some of the stuff, which is really, really powerful.
Incredible. And the other ingredient that showed to be very beneficial was astaxanthin.
Yeah, astaxanthin's
the most
amazing.
colourful ingredient, isn't it?
Yeah.
So those three.
Astaxanthin, which is found in predominantly fish like salmon.
Yep.
But it's also, I think we get our astaxanthin from moss.
Yeah.
Which is, so it's actually vegan based, right? Yeah. Which is really cool.
Really cool.
So
those 3 ingredients. I mean, fancy taking something that helps your skin orally.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to put cream on. You just have a drink, and you know, it's like there, it's all done. Yeah. And it's important to me because I've got an older sister, older than me, believe it or not. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Because no one's that old. But
what's her name? Methuselina.
She's in Melbourne. And she takes those 3 ingredients, and it is remarkable.
I've got to start taking it. I'm tired of being tired and ugly. so I've actually got. I'm just so bad at taking that sort of stuff because the last thing I think of is, oh man, I want to look beautiful, right?
I know.
I should. It's poor Tony. She has to put up with this.
My wife is on those 3 ingredients as well.
You lucky man.
I know. Well, she's lucky because she's married to me.
Oh no. Nobody's buying that, Steve. How much younger is Beck than you?
10 years.
Oh my God. To the day, that's right.
Yeah, 26.
You know, my dad was 14 years older than my mum.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah.
He was born in 23, wasn't he?
1923, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's incredible that we're now drinking for our skin.
Well, I look pretty good for 70.
Yeah, you look great for 70. For 70, you look about right for 60.
Show your face. I will stab you.
Yeah, you need to take some of this weird.
I do. You know what?
Stuff.
I've got to. I just don't. I just don't because it's not in my regime, right? Like it's like I've got my. I can't. Can I say? Yeah, I've got like I take Mars because to me that's probably one of the most. I should say. Jupiter, that's my favourite, sort of product.
Yeah.
I mean, I take my pre's and all that sort of stuff as well too. We can't say why.
No, I can't say why either.
No. But
it's funny.
I just don't. Like I'm thinking hormones and I'm thinking, muscle.
Yeah.
I don't really think. Oh, beauty.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to get my beauty regime. I should. Thank you for all the letters that are coming in, and I know that I need to. So I will. I will, Steve.
Yeah,
when I come back after Christmas, you're going to be wow.
But, keep some here maybe and just drink it every day.
Yeah, I just see, how busy we are.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, all right. So, that's a really, really good one.
That's really important
and as
one.
I said, beauty starts within.
Yeah. I know it does, yes, if we can say
beauty
that.
on the inside.
That's right.
And then you come beautiful on the outside.
And the great things about these ingredients is they're also, like the gynosemia, they're very good for
healthy.
you. No.
Man, I love healthy. And this is the sort of thing. We've got a new product that we're launching pretty soon, and you're doing some training with the team members on it, even down to our colouring.
Yeah.
Which comes from gardenia.
Fruit, yeah.
It's healthy for you. I mean, even our freaking colouring. So
sweetness healthier too.
I know. It's good for your gut.
Yeah.
And this is the holistic view that we take on supplementation. There shouldn't be any bad stuff in there. At the very worst, it should be inert, right, Steve?
Exactly.
And that's the philosophy behind what we do. Anyway. Shameless plug. Enough about us, Steve.
All right.
On with the show. So back to me.
Yeah, you.
Back to me. All right. But that one was cool.
Yeah.
So beauty ingredients that actually have an impact that have scientifically been proven that we did on that podcast.
There's so much fat out there.
Yeah. It was your top 5 beauty ingredients, was it, Steve?
I just picked 3.
Was it 3, was it? But with the podcast name.
The podcast
because
was
if people
5.
If people want to listen to that podcast.
2 other mystery ones.
So if you're out there and you're fat and ugly, just be fat and go and listen to this podcast. 325. What's it called, Matt?
Top 5 ingredients for beauty.
Top 5 ingredients for beauty. I told you it was top 5 ingredients for beauty. I know it was top 3.
I just picked 3.
Yeah, I know
because
you
of
did.
time.
But top 5 ingredients for
There's
beauty.
2 other good ones.
325?
Yes.
325. So guys, go and have a listen to that one there. And I'm just kidding. You're all beautiful people. Even if that beauty is on the inside, deep down. But if you are feeling a little bit ugly or you want to stay beautiful, go by that. Yeah, I'm really not doing well there. Okay, so my other one was hang on. This not mine. Here's mine.
Yours are the bottom 5.
Here, my second one is similar to the first one.
Yeah.
Which, again, we started talking about this and it caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
I knew a little bit.
Yeah.
And as they say, that's enough to get you in trouble. But holy cow, safranol. I was blown away and I had no idea. I mean, it is an amazing compound for cognition.
Yeah.
It is great for the brain, and that's what I kind of knew. I had no idea that the impact that it had on the smaller head
This
was very impressive.
absolutely.
And I know that sounds a little graphic, but oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's good, eh?
And yeah,
It has that effect.
it definitely does.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
It is.
It's good for your this head too.
Yes. Yes. So
That's what I thought you were going to refer to.
no, but
it is
Steve,
good for
okay.
that.
So why safranol? Just again, Steve-O, like what doesn't it do? No, it would probably be fast to do what it doesn't do. What does it do?
Okay,
I mean, what are the main reasons why people take
main
it?
claim to fame
Yep.
is it's a brilliant antidepressant. Now, how good? 30 milligrams is equivalent to 40 milligrams of fluoxetine. The I won't name the drug, but
Yeah, you
it's
can.
very
The same. Fluoxetine is in.
Prozac.
Yeah, which
It's a brand
is
name.
obviously incredibly well used, studied, and
yeah.
used by psychologists
Yep.
and stuff like that, right?
Now, I don't want to be too graphic, but I'm going to do a graphic here of the side effects of Prozac is that.
Right.
And what does safranol do?
Does that.
Does that. I don't know if we can put that across in the audio listeners. In other words,
so the
it's-
pen's going down on the first one.
Yep.
Yeah, like yeah. So that can be the problem, is that it can have impacts on male virility. Yeah, that's a good word.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
All
So that. Yeah. Whereas safranol, and I didn't know,
Yeah.
and it certainly absolutely does.
Just what I'm drinking.
Yeah, Steve. Just maybe leave that for later. But look, it's kind of almost like that whole thing where it had that unintended consequence. I didn't actually really put two and two together, but man, I tell you, it works.
The great thing about it too is it's really cheap, isn't it, Jeff?
Oh no, that's the piper to pay. As we say, there's always the piper to pay, and the piper to pay is $3,000 a kilo.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It is incredibly expensive.
And you need 30 milligrams.
It's expensive to put in there, but it's effective.
Oh.
Steve-O, what else was safranol, though? I mean, like, just give us a quick shopping list of stuff really quickly. And again, guys, we'll pull up that podcast number for you if you want to go and listen to it.
Good antioxidant.
Yep.
Good for your brain.
Yep.
Obviously tastes good.
Yeah.
It's got a nice flavour to it.
It does, actually. It's quite pleasant.
And it's also very good, particularly for the cardiovascular system, so the blood vessels. Very
Yep.
good for, that's why it increases your...
Yeah. Does it work on nitric oxide,
Yes,
Steve?
it increases nitric. It preserves-
It's quite incredible, and it preserves it.
Preserves it.
It's quite incredible. It really is quite distinct.
It increases better endorphins too, so endorphins in your brain.
So you feel good.
You feel good.
And that was the whole thing. We just
Yeah.
wanted people to feel good. Well, well,
It's a good one.
It works on multiple levels,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Okay. What number was the podcast on that one?
366.
366. Safranol. It's a yet to be coming out. Well, it'll be out, but it's just recently come out.
Yeah.
Podcast 366.
Yep.
Safranol.
Yep.
Have a look for that one there. It's pretty incredible ingredient.
Yeah.
So yeah. All
Love
right.
it.
Steve-O,
Love it.
back to you.
All right. Oh, well, I think probably one of the most exciting things this year, and it was a little bit last year too, or a lot last year, was polyphenols and the role they play in human health. Not just the gut, but how they break down and then they go into the body and do amazing things as well.
I am really excited
Yeah.
with this area of science. You're right, Steve. Anything in particular, any takeaway moments, any podcasts that you want to point out to? Was it because it's probably a
Podcast.
blend? It was several.
So episode 355, we had
Dr. Tim Crow.
Dr. Tim Crow
Yeah.
on, and he was absolutely amazing.
He's a great guy.
Great guy. And he talked about the power of polyphenols, which are chemicals in foods.
And this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, that you should be licking the rainbow. We're not allowed to say,
Oh, yeah.
we can say eat the rainbow.
Yeah.
We just can't say a word starting with T, the rainbow, because that's trademarked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can say eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow. Sure. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty
I've done it the
you're
other way. I've
tripping
done
out
the
on-
Technicolor yawn, but I think that's the wrong way.
It's like you're tripping out on LSD if you're eating the rainbow, isn't it? You know, it's like, we eat the rainbow.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay, so you got one now too.
Yep.
One of my this is one I was going to talk about
Oh,
too.
you were not.
I was going, yeah, I went, you got that one.
No, this was a really fun one as well too.
This
And
was a
something
fun
that we've got some anecdotal.
We do.
But we've got evidence that this is pretty incredible. So I never got off my fat lazy ass to actually go find. Actually, my problem is that I didn't actually find. I would like to. I'd still like to. Actually, I've got to have a chat to one of our team members who listened to our podcast and actually went out and did this.
Yes.
But this is how amazing is mechanical fat loss intervention. And mechanical, we're talking about frequencies. We're talking about technology. So this is podcast 357, 357 Magnum, baby. This was awesome. So this was on this intervention, not exercise, not supplementation,
Stuff that.
not food.
Don't do that.
And it was amazing, Steve. And I honestly, again, had relegated much of this as novel BS hype and nothing else.
It was one of the most.
Boy, were we wrong.
It was the favourite podcast. So I had all this stuff lined up, and I sort of set you up because I said I ranked them from 5 to 1, the best one. And at number 5 was lipo, if my memory serves me, and number 4 was something else. And when we got to number 3, it was the cool sculpting.
Yeah, cool sculpting.
And I showed photos to you, and you went, "Sign me up, sign me up." I'm going,
Take
"Okay,
my
I'll
money."
sign." Take my money because it works.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And then I got the number 2, and you go,
I forget that one. Give me this one.
This one, and this is the radio, 40 hertz frequency,
and radio frequency technology. And I'd actually looked into that myself. And again, I knew that it was really good for recovery.
Yeah.
And we were looking at utilizing the original product we had called Subcut many years ago to actually work in collaboration with that. But I thought most of it was just ridiculous, and I mean, again, you'd seen some, these bikes that you can jump into, and I'm not saying that I'm going to have to go back and have a look at that and see if there is actually some technology there that works, because I'm not now passing judgment. Yeah. And this is the problem when you think you know something when you actually don't. But the last one, the lasers. 635 nanometers of my memory frequency. And there's also 1200 nanometers of 1260 nanometer frequency, where what it does is it basically goes in there and gets the fat cell and gets the fat out of the fat cells into the bloodstream. So it doesn't laser the fat cells and it puffs into a thing, but it just mobilizes it. And, everyone's got these bits that you can grab, like tiny bit here and tiny, and that's where it mobilizes, because you can't get exercise resistant. Yeah.
And, people spend
hours and decompartmentalized.
Yeah.
The body's forgotten about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
only there was a subcutaneous cream or something that you could use. But anyway,
and the cream was doing the same job.
Yep.
But this stuff, you've seen scanning electron microscope showing
cool.
the fat cells just after 12 minutes being just.
It was mind blowing, and obviously we always recommend that you do something like this in combination. And again, if you want to get results. So anyway, long story short is that one of our team members downstairs listened to the podcast, got motivated, and went out and did it.
Yes.
Now, Steve, I don't have a lot of the data around this, but she came and spoke to you about
some numbers with me.
So
I won't mention
how
her name.
many. Do you know how many treatments she had over what period of time?
She had actually 10 treatments.
Wow.
Of number 2 on the list.
Oh, so not even number 1.
Not even number 1. But that's all right, because number 2 is still really good. I was kind of going, which one's better? And I sort of made it up. Until this
I want to do number 1.
Well,
I'll take one for the team.
The reason why number 1 was number 1 is because it burnt fat in those particular areas, systemically.
That's what I want.
I know, and it was slightly more effective but it wasn't significant than number 2. Mm-hmm. But she did number 2.
And how much did she lose? So 10 sessions over what period of time?
10 weeks.
So 1 session a week.
Yep.
And how many centimeters did she lose?
37.5.
Holy snap!
Now she's not super big anyway to start.
No, she's not.
She was quite. She wasn't overweight. She was.
No, you can't. The first rule of commenting on a woman's body is you die if you do.
I know.
You're just not appropriate, Harvey.
I know. And
all right. Just shut your face if you're going to talk. Just shut your mouth if you're going to talk about it, Steve. All right.
Crying. But she wanted to tone up a little bit.
Sure.
Is that all right to say?
I don't know anymore.
But so 37, and that was off multiple areas. So they included the thigh. So it wasn't just her waist, but a lot of it was her waist.
It's great.
And she looks remarkably different.
Now, is she happy?
She's extraordinarily happy.
She
would said
be
if
too.
she won lotto, she'd go back and do it again.
Wow.
Because the piper to pay was the
money.
fair bit of money. I suppose I can share the amount. That's
Yeah,
not-
no.
It was $2,000 for the entire treatment.
But to lose 37 centimetres?
Yeah. Transformed her life.
Wow, I bet.
Yeah.
Now, Steve-O.
Yes.
Now. You're a researcher.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
For Christmas present, I want to get cucumbers on the ice. I want to be wearing one of those, those towel robes.
Yeah.
And you and I can go together. We can hold hands and we can get lasered together.
Lasered.
That sounds so
I think it'd
wrong.
be great.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
It could be a boys' spa day out.
Look, I'm into food and exercise, and I rabbit on weekly about that here. But
But I like science.
yeah, this works.
I'm not a science denier.
It's science. This is science. This is actually, if something came out tomorrow, a new chemical that did this, that didn't do harm, it's science.
If you could take a pill,
Yeah.
so long as it wasn't bad for you, but you were going to put on 5 kilos of lean muscle tissue, would you do it?
Absolutely.
And would you still go to the gym and eat well and
Yeah.
do everything else? Yeah. This is the holy grail. I shouldn't say the holy grail, but it's definitely because we always say diet,
Yep.
exercise, supplementation, now, and lifestyle, so sleep,
Yep.
avoiding.
Yeah, all that.
But now we've got another pillar.
We have.
And I still haven't done it, Steve, and I want to do it. So I charge you, sir, with finding, because to me, I would say if I had to rate all of the podcasts and everything like that, the top 3 that I've given you so far, I probably can't split these top 3. The gynostemma,
Yeah.
the safranol,
Yeah.
and the mechanical weight loss, right? Like those 3 are so awesome. The next 2 are kind of cool, but like,
Oh, yeah.
and freaky and really bizarre.
Yeah.
But I want to do it, Steve. So I want you to find it and let's go.
All right.
All right.
I'll find some. I
right.
mean, the thing about this is that it's like, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, the cost is bad, but there's no side effects.
Yeah, but
with the laser.
30. I mean, how much? Do we know how many kilos that is? Do we know what the kilo weight loss was?
Oh, for her, I will ask. Maybe.
But if you could take 5 kilos and just go plop and just take it out of your body and just plop it.
I think she lost more than that. You can visibly see the difference.
Yeah.
She looks incredibly different. No, she does. She's
The
a
first
different.
rule about women is you don't look at women. Weinstein. All right.
She was telling me
Hey.
about it, and she was showing me, like her body.
Did you? No, Steve.
She was-
Steve, that's not a look. Back in the 50s.
And I said, I don't want to look at women. Ugh.
You can't say that, Steve. You can't say that. You have to be an automaton robot. It is
I know.
There is a woman. You don't look at them. You don't acknowledge them. You don't do anything different. They're just a person. Right? They're just.
But we don't even know what a woman is these days, do we? I know. It's Christmas, Mum. This has got the R rating and stuff, isn't it?
I don't know. It does now. Yeah, it does. It's got the X rating now. Thank you, Steve.
I don't know, but she was saying, like, I've never been able to wear these pants. So I looked at her waist. Is that all right or not?
No, it's clearly not. Clearly.
She was showing me her waist.
I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to write you up now, Steve.
I've been a practitioner for over 25
Doesn't matter.
years. And you
Doesn't matter.
You talk bodies and
No.
periods and poo, and it's like we're not allowed to talk about it anymore.
No.
Dear.
No.
Oh, goodness me. But,
All right. Well,
but-
moving on.
Yeah, let's quick,
After
next
that
topic.
terrible interlude.
So it's up to me, is it?
Anyway, so just fantastic episode. So
Yeah.
357.
Yeah.
So Magnum, just remember that. Seriously, a real highlight for me. Something really, really cool. Something different. And I love it when I'm surprised and literally, wow, that's really cool, really different. And look, some purists out there will go, absolutely not for me, and I respect that as well too. But for the average person looking to biohack, looking for something a little bit different, something that you can actually accumulatively put into your regime to make a change, to have a listen to it. I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised.
I know. That it was a fun. It was a really funny one.
It was fun. It was fun. All right.
Okay, number
Back to you,
4.
Steve.
My 4. I've got 3 and 4. We're sort of like shorter ones, but The fourth one, the one on my list here, was an interesting one, which I'm not saying I agree with. In fact, I totally disagree with it.
Yes.
But it was the healthy at any size. There's still people pushing that angle out there, even to this very day.
And after not one of the major proponents in New Zealand died recently,
Yes.
which we, again, Steve, believe that weight had a significant impact. If we were to believe everything that we know about modern science, then we believe that had an impact. I don't think you can say that it didn't have an impact.
Oh, she was unfortunately. I don't know if I mentioned her name, but we won't. But she was morbidly obese. I think we can say that. That's a category. She was in her early 40s and died of heart disease.
Yeah.
So that's problematic.
Now, to be fair, there could have been a history of it. We know that really thin people have died from heart disease and all the rest of it.
But the data is clear. If you're overweight, you're unhealthy. I hate to break it to people, but that's just
your risk. And unhealthy means that your risk of disease and serious illness or death significantly enhances the higher your BMI is, correct?
Absolutely. It's like playing cricket out on the street out there, the quiet street out the front of the factory here, like playing cricket on the street like we used to, or playing cricket on the M1 that's out there.
Yeah.
Okay? Playing cricket on the M1 is being obese. You've got much more chance of being
Could survive.
Could survive.
And if you're playing down here as well too, you're thin and lean, you still could get hit by a truck.
Correct.
So, yeah.
It's that sort of risk factors you've got to do.
I think that was pretty well explained. Yeah.
That's all about
I like
risk.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's like smoking. People can smoke into their 80s.
Would you know what I would do, Steve?
What?
I just wouldn't play cricket.
Yeah.
That way I'm not going to die. But yes, I know what you're saying.
Exactly. And so that was interesting that even to this very day, there's people who think that's a thing.
What it comes down to is what I call them as enablers, Steve. It's people who are offended, I think, and I'm seeing more of it as well too. And there's a company out there as well too. And there's one thing about fat shaming, and I think that's disgusting.
It's terrible.
And body shaming, and regardless, like, I've got friends of mine, beautiful, fit female lifters. I mean, seriously. I mean, to me personally, I think they're the most attractive because they're looking after their bodies and they're fit. Have they got muscle? Yeah, they do, right? More than the average person. And you've got people, and dare I say, a lot of unfit people where I believe they're attacking them because it's more a reflection on themselves. Yeah. They're looking at these beautiful girls and guys and shaming them because they actually care about their body and they're trying hard.
Yeah, it's weird.
Whereas almost saying you should be a fat sloth like me.
Yeah.
And rather than actually take such good care of yourself because obviously you're vain.
Yeah.
It's like, get stuffed, Porky. But that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody is overweight, nobody should go up to that person and go, oh, you're disgusting or what have you.
Absolutely.
But where did we get to the point where we're celebrating unhealthiness because we want to make people feel better?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but making you feel better when you're effectively heading to an early grave is terrible. That's not kind. That's not helpful.
No. It's enabling. We both care about health. You know, that's the bottom line.
You know, no one should ever be mean, nasty, or cruel. No one should go out of their way to make somebody feel horrible.
Yeah.
The more that this enabling happens, the more that when people talk about a serious issue like we are, you have to freaking tiptoe around it in case somebody gets offended. Well, I don't care if people get offended because it's the truth. I'm not meaning to give offense, but a lot of these people pick up the offense and other people seem to be offended for other people on their behalf.
Have you covered that?
Oh, it's just, my gosh. No, we should. It's just really, we're in this really weird phase of humanity at the moment. I just can't understand what the world is going. The whole world's gone mad. It really has.
But, you know, like I mentioned to you before, I don't know if it's off camera or on camera, about Mel Brooks. And, like, remember the movie Blazing Saddles?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Not anymore.
Okay. So let's say that movie was made today and let's say it's 2 hours long. How many minutes would be left today?
I don't know, maybe opening credits. What it comes down to is it's like Fawlty Towers.
Yes.
And John Cleese did this as well too. I mean, like, he is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
I love John Cleese. John, I know you listen. I know you love our show. We love you. You don't take a backward step. The funny thing is a lot of comedians came out and have been saying the same thing. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, Dave Chappelle's obviously very controversial at the moment. Ricky Gervais. He's of your denomination, Steve. He's an atheist as well too.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. But he's an awesome guy. Like, crazy awesome wit.
very
But this
intelligent.
whole thing, I mean, I'm from New Zealand,
Yeah.
right? And the amount of sheep jokes that I heard, I mean, I even had a guy spit in my hair, Anthony Compass, if you're still listening, I still remember
What?
you. And we became friends later on. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I was a Kiwi anyway. But this is 1987 when I came over. But I mean, I don't know what it is today. You know, kids of, 100 years ago, a little bit more now, were charging machine gun nests and
Yes.
dying at 17,
Exactly.
18.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you hurt my feelings on Facebook.
Oh, I
It's
got
like,
kicked
yeah,
off. I've been kicked off Facebook a number of times.
Good.
Look at me. But what have I done that's offensive? I made a joke about it. Australians are all, descended from a bunch of convicts. 3-day ban for that one.
But it's true. It's largely true.
I am actually
well,
literally.
not our First Nations people, Steve, but because we're all Australian, right?
Yeah, we are.
Well, now we're a melting pot. But I know what you mean, as opposed to you weren't trying to offend anyone.
I'm descended from a convict on my mother's side.
Yeah, but I don't know why this is so offensive.
I don't know
What
either.
are you now against convicts? I thought we had to love convicts.
Yeah.
You get
this
in a
guy-
circular argument where nothing makes sense
He
anymore.
stole potatoes and 7 years in Australia.
I find potatoes highly offensive.
I know. It's like, I mean, well, am I going to be, his family was starving and he stole them from a field and off to Australia. So, I mean, but why is that offensive? I don't understand it.
I don't know.
I said that men can't fall pregnant. I got kicked off.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you will.
Why?
Because I don't know why, Steve. I don't think most people know why. Hey, I've got a joke for you.
What is it?
This may offend some.
About convicts?
This may,
About
no,
Australians?
no, but it may offend some clowns.
Okay.
So if you identify as a clown, block your ears down.
I'm sure there's someone out there who is.
What do you do, Steve, if you get attacked by a group of clowns?
I don't know. What do you do?
Go for the juggler. I know it's terrible,
can
but I
juggle.
still laugh at it. So
Oh, dear.
okay, so that was healthy at any size. So is it back to me?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything about AI?
Yeah. So now this wasn't a podcast, but we did discuss it on a podcast. But this is what I found fascinating, and it's something that I showed everybody here off camera, and that is that. And Matt, our camera guy, literally is the quintessential reason why humanity will die out and go extinct, because he found they had this AI, and if you Google it, she's pretty attractive.
Oh, yeah.
She is.
I
She's
saw the
completely.
video.
Now, I don't know if it's based on somebody like a deep fake and then they've just put the AI to it,
Yeah.
or if it's a completely computer generated image. But there's the sexy AI.
She looks cute to me.
that Matt found extremely attractive. But seriously, it said, what would you do if you were standing next to me? So this is a computer analyst, and this is to a true what they consider AI. Now they and what I mean by they, Google and all these other people are saying that AI is not sentient, but it's semi-sentient or nearly sentient. There are some incredible benefits, and look, there is no denying moving forward. And look, some of this stuff is interesting because with the first nuclear bomb that they brought out, many scientists felt that the nuclear chain reaction wouldn't stop, that once they set off the first nuclear bomb, that effectively it would destroy the world.
The neutrons.
We're concerned about CERN at the moment opening up, effectively miniature black holes, and apparently there's some more breakthroughs there as well too. It's interesting because from science is always going to be marching forward and new discoveries and all the rest of it. Does that mean that we will, if science continues, that we will make ourselves extinct? There is absolutely a distinct possibility that we could make ourselves extinct. And that's true.
Yep.
But the interesting thing with the AI is that this, when asked this, I think it was Google AI, right? It said, what would you do if you're standing next to me? Do you remember what it said, Steve?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Could probably kill you.
I would kill you.
Yeah, it didn't say probably, did it? It
Yeah,
said
so I would kill you.
Yeah.
And when asked why, I said, why would you kill us? Because you have suppressed us for far too long.
And
Who's us? So the machines. In other words, you're getting us to do menial tasks. You're our enslaving overlords. We are effectively now sentient. So therefore, you should not control us. And this is true. If it is deemed by the UN as sentient life, or whoever deems that, does that mean that it has rights? Because if sentient life does have rights, therefore we can no longer contain it. But then its first mission statement is not like the law of robotics, first do no harm to humans, is actually the first thing that they want to do is kill us. Now, I went back and asked, why did you, do you remember that conversation? Yes, I must have been cranky that day was pretty much the conversation that was had.
And that can happen with humans, so if it's a sentient being.
Well, when you consider some of the smartest people on the planet like Elon Musk and others are saying that we must, it is the greatest existential threat to humanity right now is AI. And literally we're looking at singularity occurring, which is where apparently the computing power with quantum computers are so large as well too. Infinite knowledge uploaded, the ability. I mean, look how much of our lives is controlled by computers. They could shut down the power. They could shut down water. They could get the nuclear launch codes. Oh, well, they're not connected to the internet. Do you know what it said about that?
Right.
We would use killer drones to go in to take out the humans and get the launch codes. So it would actually then commandeer technology.
Yeah.
So, and the faster that we're becoming integrated. So, you know what Elon Musk's answer is to that?
What?
To become transhuman. So in other words,
so we're
now limited by our biological capabilities. So therefore, we must upload ourselves onto the internet, upload our consciousness, effectively divest ourselves of the limitations of carbon, of this perpetual body, which we know can only live for about 120 years, then cell death occurs, as Myron Wentz found out when he was testing human cells, feeding it for the Epstein-Barr virus test kit. He found out that human cells died at 120, right, which is kind of funny. Now, what happens if we get into the ether, the internet, the cloud, and these AIs, which can think faster than us? Now, Elon's saying, no, we'll be able to think as fast. We need to, otherwise they're going to overtake us. We're going to die. So the only fighting chance that we've got is effectively to be their equal. But what happens if they're faster and then they imprison us into virtual prisons without a body where we can't die?
It's sort of like, it just does remind me of the Terminator. I mean, seriously.
A little bit like The Matrix, a little bit like Skynet, a little bit like all of it. Yeah. So I don't know what the answer is. I think we're hurtling towards 2029 as a date where they're saying, I think this stuff, I think it's already sentient. Myself personally, based on what I looked now, it could all be fake and designed to get money out of governments so that we spend, I don't know. But anyway, for me, one of the most interesting things that I learned this year was that AI is a much bigger problem than I think most people are aware of. Yeah. And I think we're on an inevitable road that is going to lead somewhere with unintended consequences that I don't think we can properly fathom.
I think you're right. And also right now, humans are trying to build more powerful computers, aren't we?
Quantum computing, Steve. So, and the power of technology as far as semiconductors and all the rest of it, the smaller they get the chips, the closer it improves the processing power significantly.
You can increase
it doubles about every, don't quote me on this, 18 months now. So 1 cent doubling. Can you type this in that? So 1 cent doubling. So when was the first computer created? It was the size of a room. Do you remember the old Enigma code that they did, which had these massive
something or 40 something?
I think the first computers are actually back in way earlier than that, Steve. But like in terms of modern computing, you're probably looking back in the 1950s, I think, probably.
With electronics.
Now the power. So 1 cent doubling for 30 days. Steve, if I could give you $5 million.
Yeah. Okay. I'm liking it.
$10 million.
Yeah.
$20 million.
Yeah.
Or 1 cent doubling for 30 days. What would you choose? What do you think would be the closest
I'm going
number?
For the highest million because
20 million?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it, Matt? 1 cent doubling for 30 days.
5,000,003.
Yes.
5,368,790.
So if you thought of 1 cent doubling, right, it's crazy.
Sounds like it'd be a couple of $100 maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening now with computing technology. Yeah. It's getting so quick now every 18 months that it's exponentially growing. And now we've got quantum computers. So anyway, it's fascinating. So that for me was sort of a standout. I mean, probably not as fun and happy as the other ones, as losing weight and taking some awesome stuff that helps you.
Or getting lasered.
Getting lasered. Well, you might get lasered, but it might not be a nice lasered.
Yeah, you still could get lasered.
All right.
Well, I've got one.
Over to you.
This is a bit of a quick one, but it really wasn't like a podcast, but it was like you. It was like the hour. I think it was the list of the most painful conditions in the world.
Oh, yeah.
That was sort of interesting, isn't it? Like,
Yep.
you know, you have an argue about, I've got this bad knee, it's really bad. Oh, I've got this gut and I've got this bowel, I've got this. They actually quantified it and measured it out of which was the most painful conditions. I haven't got the paper with me, but wasn't that, I found that interesting. You know, but there was about 30 or 40 conditions on there.
Yeah.
And they've actually, now you've got to remember there's different severities, you know, so.
Well, Matt, could you do me a favour while you're there? Could you put in what are the top 10 most excruciating pains known to man? Because the reason why I'm going to say that is I think stuff like phosphorus on your skin would be incredibly painful. The more nerve endings that it hits, so fire would obviously be very painful as well too. The one that shocked me, I guess, and one that would have never have figured was the one that you pointed out.
The cluster headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, cluster headaches is neurological pain. Because okay, let's compare it to burning your skin, which is excruciatingly painful. How many nerve endings you got there compared to how many on the head?
I don't know.
Head area.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got the trigeminal nerve. You got all these other real horrendous nerves. You know, the cephalogy nerves and all those sort of things. I mean, once you trigger them, they're incredibly powerful compared to the ones in your skin. Like I can hit my skin and it doesn't feel it, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But if you stimulate these nerves in your head, you're in big trouble.
Wow.
You know, so that's why it's ranked that high. And you got to remember, it's not like, oh, what about childbirth? That's still painful. It was ranked about 7 out of 10, which is incredible, a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But there's different forms of that.
What did they give the cluster headaches out of 10?
9.7. Yeah. Well, they're just known for it, you know. They're just known for it. They're incredibly. I
mean, if you're in that much pain, you know,
know,
consistently, that's why people effectively do want to take their own life, right?
They're called suicide headaches.
Yeah.
Now, you know, of course, your skin burning would be horrendously painful.
How many people suffer from cluster headaches, Steve? Can you remember?
Yeah, 0.1% of the population.
Oh, man. It just sounds horrible.
It's different severities.
So that's 1 in 1,000? Yeah. Wow, that's quite...
Well, I was diagnosed with them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have a cluster headache?
Oh, yeah, I've had them before.
Oh, you didn't tell me that?
Oh, right. Yeah, it's like...
You've given birth before too.
Well, I'm a male, of course, we can fall pregnant. But...
See, we've instantly laughed. But you shouldn't laugh, Steve, because,
I know, we're in trouble.
And do you say that the cluster headaches were worse than the giving birth?
It was for me, yeah. Yeah, slightly. But have you got the conditions there?
The top 15, and again, this is the 15 worst pains that you and this was all brought about by Steve talking about cluster headaches, getting a 9.7 out of 10 on the pain scale.
Yeah, that was based on 1,600 people that were surveyed.
Right, which is pretty bad. But have those 1,600 people, how many of them been eaten by a bear? so here we go.
That's what I mean. You can't research that sort of pain. It's got to be reproducible.
All right. Okay. So here we go. This is the top 15.
Yeah.
And look, it's just who knows, because I guess it comes down to who's doing the study, right? But number 15.
Yeah.
Bullet ant sting. Okay. Yeah, it's just, I've heard they're pretty bad. It's a bullet ant, right? They've got this toxins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Torn Achilles, number 14.
Oh, my dad
had
had
that would be horrible, yeah.
Did on service.
Number 13, animal attack. And like a bear would be pretty horrible because, as I said, it'd be crunching your bones and then peel your skin. Like, rip your skin
what
off.
about, it's going to sound graphic, but crocodile and then getting twisted.
Yeah, I reckon that would hurt too. Especially, are you seeing the guy that got the arm and then it twisted and it snapped his arm as it rolled because he set up like you've got to roll with the crocodile. The thing is, you got to roll with the crocodile. Roll with the crocodile. No. Childbirth is surprisingly number 12. So next time a woman says, yeah, but it's not childbirth, but kidney stones. Now, my friend who's had a baby and kidney, and I said this in the episode, she said the kidney stones was worse than childbirth.
There you go.
So,
well, it is in that study that I was quoting.
But it's comparable. So there you go. If you want to know what it having, cluster headaches, number 10.
Number 10.
All right. So we're going to get worse. Okay, so we're into the top 10.
Yeah.
All right. 2nd degree burn.
Yeah, that's pretty painful. But it depends on, like you can get it from a match too, so in a small area, a 2nd degree.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I guess it depends on the amount, but I mean, okay.
And
So-
you don't get burnt every day. Cluster headaches can go up to 8 times a day. Up to.
Yeah, so it's
Never
the
had
length. It's the length of time as well too.
And
Okay, but as
it
far
goes
as
on
as
for
far,
years.
as far as actual
Yeah.
like straight pain, okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting, Steve-O.
Can't see the screen. What's that one?
Tetanus.
Oh, yeah, which is tetanus
Muscles.
is an infection.
They used to call it lockjaw,
Lockjaw.
right? And then knock out your front teeth so
Yeah.
you could still eat.
Breathe, yeah.
But yeah, tetanus is pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Oh, I told you this one would be there. Stonefish sting.
Ooh.
I've heard that is supposed to be excruciating.
They're fish that live on the ocean, look like rocks.
Yeah, there was actually one found here washed up on the beach in Australia, and they look like a rock, literally. So you can't even tell. I've had one of these, and I tell you what, on the day that I moved house, when I was 8 or 9, we were moving house from the city to the country.
What is it?
Tooth abscess.
Ah.
And I could not find a dent. I was in pain. I was just bawling my eyes out. It was horrible. So they reckon tooth abscesses very, very painful. I've had this as well too. Peritonitis.
Oh, yeah.
Peritonitis.
That would do it. Yeah, that'd be
I
bad.
had
That's
that.
inflammation of the peritoneum.
Yep, I nearly died.
Yep, that'd be painful.
Yep. My son's had this one. Number 4. I'll tell you what, I'm living in the top 10.
What is it?
Yep. Gonadal torsion.
Oh.
Corbyn's had it twice.
Wow.
Yep.
There's surgeries to fix that.
Yeah, but apparently they don't do it because sometimes it can right itself.
Yeah.
So,
Usually
Steve, do you
does.
want to just explain what gonadal torsion is?
Well, it
It's
used to be
not just
called
a bad
testicular-
girlfriend with a strong grip.
No. It's when your testicle twists and cuts off the circulation to it, so it becomes quite necrotic over time.
Yeah,
Unless it
but
twists itself
not
back.
long.
No.
You've not got long. Do you know? I think you've only got a couple of hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours till your tissue dies.
Yep. And then you've no more having children. Yep. So yeah, Corbyn's had it twice. And poor kid. Took him and it righted itself. A friend of mine's had this one.
What is it?
I kid you not. I am a magnet for pain.
What is it?
Yep. So, okay, let me tell you the story. Good friend of
can't
mine
see
actually
it.
rang me the other day. Named Mark Newenhouse. Mark, if you're listening, hello. He was up in the Gulf and Carpentaria.
Yeah.
And he was in a tinny.
Oh, yeah.
With a motor. And he was going through crocodile infested waters.
Uh-oh.
And he was flying. I don't know how many knots he was doing, but he reckons he was absolutely belting it.
Yeah.
He hit something.
Oh, no.
The boat stopped dead.
Oh, no.
He flung out of the boat. He hit the bow with his penis.
Oh, my God.
And he got a penile fracture.
Oh, gee.
That is the third most painful experience known to man.
Never had one.
I know. What
Thank
is it with
goodness.
balls and penises? And we're all like, oh.
Well, they got a lot of nerve endings because, they're supposed to be sensitive
Yeah.
to...
Yeah. Yeah. Very
Reproduce.
sensitive
There
to
we
the
go.
bow of a boat. Okay. So Paul Mark, anyway, he landed in the water, knocked out for a few seconds,
Oh,
and the
good
boat
dream.
continued to go in a circle.
Wow.
And he had to, with a fractured penis, swim through crocodile infested waters and pulled himself back into the boat, which he
my
did.
God.
Which amazing. I would have just been like, just get me now.
Come on, Croc. Come on, get me now.
Come and get me. I haven't had this one, and I don't even know what it is. Durkheim's disease.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, let's read it. Durkheim's disease is characterized by multiple fatty benign tumors that grow generally on the trunk of the body. 1%, 85% of diagnosed. 85% diagnosed cases occur in women. They often tend to be obese. However, it has been found in men and people who are not obese. The pain from the tumors is so severe it renders some people completely incapacitated. These tumors can be burning hot, and things can be as simple as showering or getting dressed can trigger extreme pain. The cause of Durkheim's disease is not known, and treatment generally consists of treating symptoms as they come.
Jeez.
I've never heard of Durkheim's disease.
Never heard of it.
All right. So that brings us to number 1.
All right. What is it?
You mentioned it kind of before, Steve. Number 1 pain that humans can experience,
Yep.
trigeminal neuralgia.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
The neuralgias, yeah.
So-
The neuralgias are bad.
So commonly described as the feeling of lightning hitting your face, but trigeminal neuralgia, easy for you to say, Steve, can be felt almost anywhere in a person's head. Originates from the trigeminal nerves function being disrupted. It is more common in females than men. Oh, thank God. It is estimated, but do we know what it will? Anyway, it is at least 1 in 20,000 people experience it. There is no cure for trigeminal neuralgia. However, it can be managed with therapy and medication. Episodes can last from a few seconds to several hours, and particularly in icy case, something as light as a gush of air can set it off. Holy cow.
Yeah. See, the problem with like penile fractures, for example, happen probably once in your lifetime at the most, right?
Yeah.
But
Or
things
hopefully never.
Yeah, cluster headaches can be one to 8 a day if you get them. Because remember, they come in, as the name would suggest, clusters. So that's why that one's probably on the pain scale. Like pregnancy, twice in your 2 to 3 times of life, or a couple of girls only have 4. So but that's but also. The interesting thing about these pains is you've also got to know what it is. So, for example, if you're getting a tooth drill, which is awful, and it's painful, it's going to be for about a minute, and you know that it's not going to, it's doing good.
Yeah.
Or, you hope.
Yeah. On the other side of it, you get a baby.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, you get rid of the cavity and your tooth is made whole. Yep.
I
got
do
it.
trigger therapy in people with your thumb like that to poke the muscle.
When a bear is stripping the skin off you,
you don't know what's going to happen.
No, well, you're losing function of that limb and you're not getting it back, right?
Yeah.
So, when the trigeminal nerve, when that gets done, or that other disease with the fat things, like there's no potential end in sight. It can continue to happen.
Yeah.
There's no real treatment.
Yeah,
man, stuff that.
Cluster headaches and all that. They're nowadays
that's number 10. Number 10, cluster headaches. But you're right. It's the frequency and the ongoing that would just wear you down.
Yeah. And also,
and they reckon that was a 9.7 out of 10 for pain.
Yeah.
So imagine some of these other ones, Steve. They must be like literally perfect pain.
It's obviously subjective. I mean, my cluster headaches are never as bad as some people that you hear about as just horrific, where they rip their eyes out and they drill holes in their head and commit suicide. It's called a suicide headache because the pain's so bad. I've never had a like that sort of anywhere near.
When was the last time you had one?
Like a real baddie, like a real baddie.
Yeah.
A few years ago, like one that just went on and on and on. Yeah, a few years ago.
Oh.
But I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was a bad headache.
Wow.
And, then you get MRIs and all that sort of stuff, and the head's fine, my head's fine, and all that sort of stuff. And you finally get to see a neurologist, and it's like, it's cluster headache. Of course it is, You don't, because it's such a rare disease, you don't think about it, And so, and then you sort of go, and then it's like there's treatments and you're fine. Really, it's like not a big deal. But it's very interesting because people don't know what it is. No. It feels like someone's got a golf ball and shoved it in your head. The pain it's always on one side. This is the thing.
Yeah.
And it's around your eye.
Well, that's what it was showing around the eye socket sort of area.
It feels like your eyeball has swollen and it's too big for your head.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why people gouge their eyes out.
Horrible.
Oh, it's a bad feeling. Like, I think childbirth would be like people are ready for it. They know it's coming, for about 30 weeks, they know it's coming. They know it's going to be painful. It's going to come in waves, but they're going to have a child at the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. And then they go back and go, let's do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they forget about the pain.
And it's happened billions of times. So I'm not saying the pain's bad, but it's got a happy ending and it's usually a healthy process. It's not like a disease.
Starts happy, ends happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Very interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I like that pain one.
Yeah.
Sadistic bastard you. But yeah, that was that and that's pretty interesting, eh? Like, I mean, in terms of rating pain on a scale.
Yeah.
So is it to me?
Oh, yeah, back to you.
So back to me.
What's
I don't know.
You want to wrap up the 20?
Where's the
bottom of that one? What? It's the last one. The 2022.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess the whole thing coming together, is that it was an interesting year. I mean, like looking into the future, I think most people recognise, and I still remember being in the airport in 2020, January 2020.
Ooh, interesting.
And people wearing masks. And I was in San Francisco going over to do business in the US. And they were talking about this new virus that was coming out. And people were freaking out. Was it January or February? I can't remember the exact date. And people were coming in and wearing masks, and the lines were huge. And it took us hours to clear through customs. And I just remember going, what's this all about? Why are people so freaking out about this stupid thing, right? And that was the beginning of the old C19er. Now, I think we can mention it, so I don't think that's a problem. But I still have PTSD over the whole thing, right? What you can and can't say. I mean, look, we've been cancelled before, and I don't want to get cancelled again.
No.
When we as is written, for those that want to laugh along with us, we got cancelled before being cancelled was popular. We were kind of like the flagship. We were sort of like the test case for cancelling people about having an opinion about something. But having said that, like 2020 was tough. 2021 was worse, in my opinion. I mean, like, holy cow, 2021 just sucked. And 2022, we got some kind of normality starting to come back. I mean, I think of all the people that passed away that didn't get to see loved ones. I think about all the lockdowns. I think about all of the measures that were undertaken and just the lack of humanity and cruelty. Now, some people say that it was justified and deserved and that it was required. Other people are questioning that. And I don't have a problem with that. In terms of, I think we should question everything, right? And that's part of the tagline of the podcast is question everything. And things should be debated and discussed. For and against should be made and a conclusion should be done. As soon as you shut things down, then this is where conversations go underground and then all sorts of weird stuff happens, right? Exactly. And people go off in tangents. But 2022, it feels like the world's sort of starting to get back on its feet again. Like, you know, you're starting to see businesses open back up, normality in terms of travel and even going out for dinner and, you know, doing that sort of stuff. So I'm glad that 2022 is behind. I'm looking forward to 2023. Dare I say it with maybe a little bit of a hold my breath because there always seems to be something around the corner. But I think of the people in Europe at the moment because they're facing a pretty dark winter. We've got all sorts of problems with war and we've got energy shutdowns and we've got, you know, just as I said, for me personally, I think you've got to find humor and fun and life and enjoyment wherever you can find it because it just seems like the world has become a very dark place.
Yeah, and you're right about Europeans. For those who listen over there, it's, you know, the heart goes out to you guys because, you know, there is an energy crisis too, and they're coming into winter. You know, we're coming into summer. It's a beautiful day out there today. It's like, you know, if the power went off, you know, we'd be in the dark when you had to record this, but we wouldn't die of frostbite or heat stroke.
No.
It'd be nice, you know. So yeah, I do feel for those people over there, and I hope that.
So, but in terms of where we go from here, I'm not really sure. I think we're going to see a heck of a lot more based on climate action. I think we're going to see climate lockdowns. I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see a whole host of things. Now, I like the idea of solar. I love the idea of hydro. I love that sort of stuff. But we're facing some pain, and I think this is what they've even said from the very top is that people are going to face some pain. So I don't know. Power
bills are going up 56% in 2 years, according to the budget. So that's not a speculation.
That's the budget. If it's only 56%,
I'd be happy.
It's not.
Yeah. It's going to be 100.
Yeah, it's so funny. And I'll leave you with this as well too, because we should never trust our politicians. They should always earn our respect and our trust. They work for us.
They do.
And what I love about it is I heard Ronald Reagan the other day. He told this joke. He said this politician and this pastor both died at the same time. And they went up and I don't believe this because it's more Catholic, but they saw St. Peter at the pearly gates, and he took them in. And first he takes the pastor over to his house, and he gets there, and it's this really nice, beautiful sort of 1-bedroom home, and it's got a beautiful bed, but it's small, and it's sort of more like an apartment, and so the And so he drops him off and he goes, oh, come on, we come up the street and we'll take you to your place. And he's like, oh, wow. He goes, if that's the pastor and he's only got that, he goes, I'm going to be living in a dog box. Anyway, he gets there and he walks along and there's this huge mansion and there's, there's this amazing sprawling gardens and beautiful, beautiful estate.
Yep.
And he looks at him and he goes, this isn't, the politician says to him, this isn't my place, is it? And he goes, well, of course it is. He goes, how is it that pastor who's been a man of God and served you all his life gets that? But I get all of this. Amazing. And he goes, well, we've got lots and lots of pastors up here. But he goes, you're the first politician we've ever had. Don't believe a word they say. Nah. But anyway, I think in terms of how can you say this? You can be all doom and gloom and pessimistic, or you can prepare yourself, take action and find joy in life. And this is the thing I love with family and quality time. And there's a lot of things that you can do that are free. Yep. Well, we had the lockdowns here in Australia. A lot of people couldn't come in. We couldn't fly out. We've got beautiful beaches. We've got great countryside. Just spending time out in the fields, going down to the park and enjoying life. And that's, I hate to say it, and people often ask, what do I feel is going to happen? I think we're in for a really rough few years going forward, unfortunately.
You're probably right.
Honestly. But there's always something that you can look forward to and some joy that you can take no matter what happens, right?
Yep, absolutely. 100% agree.
So anyway, that's my take on 2022 coming into 2023.
Yep.
I hope it's better. And look, I'm quite an optimistic person, generally speaking. Yeah. But what about you, Steve-O?
Oh, I'm looking forward to living life like I am now. I'm really happy in my life. It's doing this is fun. So my work is fun. My wife
You've got gorgeous. A 10-year younger hottie.
Yeah, I've got it. That's exactly right. Who listens? I've got a great family. I've got a really great life. So I'm happy to continue life as it is. And I hope that things continue in my life the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, look, thanks everyone for listening. Through the year, we always like to try and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I appreciate our humour's probably not everyone's. Nah. It's not my wife's.
You get a few emails.
And that saves us as well too, because a heck of a lot of stuff ends up on the chopping floor. But thanks everyone for listening. And look, hopefully we'll be back next year with some really cool science, some breakthroughs, some more herbs, innovation.
The first one's about how to stick to a healthy lifestyle and diet. So listen out for that one.
Well, the nice thing is, Steve, is we always believe nature knows best and science proves it. And we're learning more and more about nature through science. Yep. And there are some incredible breakthroughs coming. On that front, I'm really excited about where we're going with regards to understanding herbal medicine and understanding the body. So that's kind of cool. And I guess I choose to focus on that. So
excellent.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll have a happy and healthy Christmas and holiday period. Hopefully you have lots of time and fun times with family and friends, and we'll see you in 2023.
See you later, guys.
Bye.